I have always wondered why we are so afraid to start. Not just afraid, but as if we are rooted to the spot, frozen in an eternal pause, watching the world as if through a glass that separates us from real life. We see how others live, act, make mistakes, create something new, boldly explore their possibilities, while we remain where it is safe, where we can dream but not act. And I was the same. I know this feeling all too well. It is quiet and invisible, but persistent, like a warm but sticky fog that envelopes you and won't let go. It comes suddenly, in moments when a new path opens up before you, when the thought flashes through your mind that this is it, you're something. Something that can change your life, something you've been dreaming about for a long time, something you've imagined yourself doing but haven't done yet. And instead of going, I sat down, put it off, came up with 1,000 excuses to stay where I was, where it was comfortable and safe. I remember one moment particularly clearly. It was an idea that had been with me for several years. Let it be the project I dreamed of launching. I thought about it constantly, saw the picture in my head, every frame was calibrated, every sound, every detail. In my imagination, the project was perfect. I could already imagine how proud I would be, how people would be amazed, how everything would turn out easily and beautifully. But as soon as I thought about taking the first step, a strange lump of fear would form inside me, squeezing my chest and making it hard to breathe. Wait, I told myself. First, get ready, study everything, buy everything you need, wait for inspiration. And day after day, I put it off. First for a couple of days, then a week, then a month. Every day seemed perfect to start, tomorrow. But tomorrow never came. Every time, a new reason appeared. Now is not the time, I need more experience, it's better to do it perfectly, what if it all fails? And so on and so forth. All these thoughts were like invisible ropes that tied me to one place, to one state, to eternal preparation that never ended. I was more afraid of the first step than the action itself, because the first step meant facing reality. And reality could be imperfect, dirty, not as beautiful as in my head. And that scared me more than anything else. A month passed. Then 2. Then almost a year. And all this time, the project lived inside me like an invisible box, neatly closed and carefully guarded. I carried it around like a secret that couldn't be revealed to anyone, not even myself. And all this time, I simultaneously dreamed and hated myself for doing nothing. I watched the people around me who created, launched, made mistakes, fell, got up, and moved on, and every time it seemed to me that they were living the life I wanted for myself. And I remained a spectator of my own story. I saw how someone tried, how someone was not afraid to fall, how someone started even without confidence, and every time I was overcome with a mixture of envy and the realization that I could be in their place if I just started. And then something unexpected happened. Someone else, a complete stranger, launched a project that was very similar to mine. And he didn't do it perfectly. It wasn't as beautiful, as large-scale, or as thorough as I had imagined. But he did it. He started. He took action. And the project lived, grew, and developed. People responded, supported it, took an interest. The results came slowly but surely. And I sat and watched. And I thought about how things could have been if I had stopped being afraid, if I had taken the first step, even if it wasn't perfect, even if it was flawed. I realized one simple thing then: the fear of starting stole a whole year from me. A whole year when I could have been learning, trying, making mistakes, moving forward. And the most unpleasant thing was that this fear was completely illusory. It existed only in my head while I pretended to be preparing. While I was procrastinating. While I believed that the perfect moment would come on its own. But there is no such thing as the perfect moment. It never comes. There is only now and what you decide to do right now. From that day on, I began to look at life differently. I began to realize that fear is not an enemy, but a sign. A sign that you are about to do something important, that you are about to step outside your comfort zone. I realized that the first step is always scary, always awkward, always imperfect. And that's okay. It's even right. Because any first step is already movement, already action, already life. I started taking small first steps, sometimes so small that they were almost invisible. But the main thing was that they were there. I stopped waiting for inspiration because I realized that inspiration comes after action, not before it. I stopped waiting for perfect conditions because I realized that conditions would never be perfect. I began to understand that procrastination is not laziness, but fear, and that the hardest step is to start despite that fear. I have learned to pay attention to the fact that every day I procrastinate, every moment I am afraid to start, is a life lost. Not in a dramatic, loud sense, but in a quiet, almost imperceptible way. When days pass, opportunities disappear, when you observe the world but do not enter it. Life slips away not when you make mistakes, but when you are afraid to do anything, when you freeze and wait instead of acting. The fear of beginning is a sign that something is important, that something is worth trying, that something is worth living for. And the longer you fear it, the further you are from what you really want. Now, when I think back on those days, I don't feel angry with myself. I understand that it was a lesson I needed to learn in order to understand one simple thing: every day of procrastination, every pause, every fear is a life lost. But the first step, even if it's small, uneven, and timid, is still movement. And movement is life. I began to accept the first step for what it is: uneven, bold, vulnerable. Sometimes it leads to success, sometimes to failure, sometimes just to a new understanding of myself. But the main thing is that it leads to movement, and movement leads to life. And the feeling that comes after taking the first step is impossible to put into words. It is quiet, like breathing, like the heart, like the light that shines through the window after a long night. Now I know, to start means to give yourself a chance to be real, to give yourself a chance to make mistakes and learn at the same time, to give yourself a chance to live life instead of watching it from the window. And with each new step, I understand more and more clearly: the perfect result is not important, the beautiful picture is not important, the scale is not important. Only one thing is important: movement. Only what you are doing now, despite your fear, despite your uncertainty, despite your doubts. Fear will always be there, and that's okay. It reminds you that something important is beginning, something real is beginning. And the more you allow yourself to take these steps, the less your fear controls you. You begin to live. You start making mistakes and correcting them. You start breathing deeply and seeing the world with your own eyes, not through glass. And this is the real magic: living despite fear, moving despite doubts, doing despite the impossibility of perfection. And now, when I think about those days of procrastination, I realize that it was all necessary to feel this truth. To understand that what matters most is not the result, not success, not external recognition, but the very act of movement, the very act of trying, the very act of beginning. And when you take that first step, you open the door to a world where anything is possible. You open the door for yourself. You start living, not just dreaming. And that feeling, that quiet, gentle, but incredibly powerful feeling of movement, of possibility, of reality, stays with you forever.